All right. Welcome to our first podcast, the Joel and Chellisa Perspective. This is our first podcast.
Yeah.
We've been meaning to do it for a long time.
I think literally it was like 2018 was when I put up a post on Instagram saying, we're going to start a podcast. What should we call it? And it was a photo of us from Listen Out.
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
our tracksuits. And then we went to, JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
We spoke to the guy there, the one that was helping us out in the shop, and we'd said, we're going to start a podcast. Like, what equipment should we get? We bought these microphones, our little mixer thingy. Remember he followed you on Instagram? He was like, wow, that's going to be cool.
He was actually like a really cool guy. He was like, we were speaking to him for ages. He was helping us out, like, oh, okay, you'll need this. You need these, like, cords that plugs into this interface port that then plugs into the computer. Like, we were trying to set it up for a while, even today before we did this.
Oh, fuck around.
It was a freaking nightmare trying to set it all up.
I mean, it's probably like our own fault we didn't do as much research as we should have into the camera and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So for now, we're just filming it off the phone and we're going to see how it goes, but we'll upload it either way.
This will be our first one, finally.
Yeah, a bit scared.
Not
even scared, it's just like, I don't know, it's pressure. It feels like pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially for me, like, it's always been hard for me to talk. Like, obviously, I'm just talking to you, but when now that the camera's on,
that's what I mean, yeah.
Pressure's on, it's like, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, we went through so many phases because it was like, we said 2018. We'd said we had the intention of doing one. And then we gone through so many phases of, like, alternating between who didn't want to do it in that particular time. Like,
one day, Chelisa's like, let's do it. And then, not even if I'm having a bad day or anything, but I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it today. And then a week later when I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then Chelisa's like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. It's just like...
It really happened so many times. And last year we did, one trial one. I think it went for 40 minutes or something like that. We were just watching it back. Maybe we'll post a little clip from it or something. I don't know.
Up here.
We can cut it. We can cut the clip in.
Yeah, our idea, hopefully it works, but as I'm talking, there should be a video playing here.
Or we'll cut to the video.
Yeah.
Now. You get what I'm saying? That's why we need it.
Yeah.
Because we're built into this society.
We live in, yeah. So, yeah.
The less you need, the less
you want.
The less you need, the more you want. I was saying I was saying in the sense of the less you have, the less you need. So the less you want, the less you need. Yeah. Because I don't want, the less you want, the less you need. That was what I was trying to say.
Boom.
Anyways, that was a video of us last year, 2000. Oh, was it 2020? Yeah. Well, yeah, COVID. Yeah. So we've done, I think, during COVID when we were in lockdown or something. And it was pretty good. And I don't know why we didn't keep off that momentum. We kind of just did it. We loved it. We thought it was pretty funny. And then we just kind of ignored it and then went about our lives.
Yeah. Everything else, not just Corona, but everything else we had going on in our lives kind of took priority. But now we're making this a priority because this is something that we've wanted to do for so long, for so many reasons too. Like, I don't even know what the main sort of goal is, other than to be able to speak about things that have happened in our life, and give you guys a bit of perspective. Our perspective.
On our perspective on shit we go through, how we handle it, even just what's been going down. Like, we've got some questions here today that we'll go through, but I know some podcasts maybe we'll just come in and just talk shit about training or whatever. If you have a fight coming up, we'll do one about fight camp or something. So it's just a way for us to be able to speak kind of like a what's the word, like audio visual diary, I guess.
A diary, yeah, 100%. Like, and then you can watch it back in a few months or whenever, a year later or whatever, and be like, where was my mind state at then, sort of thing. Like, even when you see photos, like when we're on our phone and you see an old photo and you're like, remember that, but this is like an actual expression like video and audio.
Yeah, for sure.
Of that point, so.
And it kind of gives people a way, like, depending on what we discuss or whatever, we'll give our viewpoints on whatever it is. And gives a way for people to relate to us as well. If they feel or have experienced something similar. Or if they just want to kind of see our point of view on kind of the life we're living and where it's kind of going, what we want to happen, how we live day by day as well. Especially
not that we're awesome, we live this cool life, but like it's different to most people, I think. Like it's not
even people that live the same life. It's like we're doing, say we all go to training, we train MMA, Joel's a professional fighter, say we, you know, that's someone else's life too, someone we train with or one of our friends or whatever, and it's like the way that they do something is going to be completely different to the way we do it. Like we've got our routine, our schedule, how we like things to work for us, but that might be different from someone that does the exact same thing. Yeah, no, definitely. Like that just makes me think of like Joe Rogan did a podcast with GSP, and for me being like a professional fighter and looking up to GSP for so long, and just hearing his perspective on training and life, it just, I don't know, like you get something from everyone sort of thing. 100%. It was actually interesting for me, even obviously having not had any fights, but just that, like, the preparation in terms of, like, he was talking about that photo frame thing. Like, I won't go into it because people can listen to it if they want to, but that was just a whole nother level to what we've done, like what you've done and how we've you know, approached your fights and whatever fight camps in the past. But it was just like, oh, sick. Yeah. We could do something like that in the future when we get to that point. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it was so insightful. Like, even just his mentality on training, and I don't know. It's just, I think it's cool to listen to other people and get their perspective, sort of thing. Yeah. All right, should we go through some of these questions? So I put up a little like question thingy on my Instagram, like, hey, ask us questions, we're gonna start a podcast. This is like 2 months ago, I think it was about February, and not bad. It's okay. And so we got a few. We got like a couple pages or a page and a half worth of questions, and we thought we'd just go through depending on what we want to speak about that day. So I've highlighted a couple. So the first one, which was 2 questions from Shez and Alan. Shout out to Shez and Alan. They asked us about our relationship. So Alan said, how did you guys meet, and what was your first impression of each other? And Shez said, how did you and Joel meet, and what caught your eye in each other? So we've been together for 4 years now. Yeah. December just gone. Yeah. God, this feels like a lifetime, eh? I know, it's crazy. That's actually crazy. It doesn't even feel like that long. No. But 4 years, like, I don't know, everything we've been through, like, just feels so much longer. Yeah, no, it's crazy. But time is just so, like, not irrelevant, I guess. I mean, I guess it is in a way. Because, like, we're just living our lives together in our own time, in our own space or whatever. And what's 4 years to us feels like 20. And some people, I'm sure, 1 year would feel like 20, or 20 years might feel like it's gone that quickly. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like everything's kind of relevant. Like, in that moment. In that moment. So now I'm like, oh wow, 4 years, that's ages. But it's like, seems like it makes sense. Like, do you know what I mean? Like everything sort of happened when it happened in our relationship, and it feels like, oh cool, this is where we are right now. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, or I'm just rambling. I don't know if I'm like articulating it right. Yeah, no, I kind of get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. What was the question? How did we meet? Yeah, and so what caught our eye in each other, or what was our first impression of each other? So do you want me to tell it from my sort of perspective first? Yeah, we're going to keep saying the word perspective. I feel like I've already said it like 5 times, but it's my perspective. Okay. So we met 2016. And the way I sort of seen you was I was taking photos for a fight show that Joel was fighting, which was Urban Fight Night. I was doing the weigh-in photos, and I'd seen Joel. It was at, like, what was that pub at the time they did it at? It was near where I used to work in Seven Hills. Some pub in Seven Hills. Anyways, there was some, like, little pub, and I'd seen Joel. I was, like, waiting there with my camera. I usually get nervous before weigh-ins because I just feel like, oh, shit, there's, like, one shot you get. Like, yeah, it's a they face off. It's like intense as fuck. Like it's so intense. If you miss it, you can't be like, "Hey, can you just face off again? Bring that same energy again." Yeah. And so I'm like standing there, usually with my camera at the front. I'm like, oh, "Okay, fuck, gotta get the shot." You know, the mass people are there. the coaches, the promoters are there, all the fighters are walking around, everyone's sort of grumpy and hungry. And then I'd seen Joel walk past, you had your grey and black hat on, I think, your Nike one.
Yeah, when I used to wear snapbacks backwards all the time.
So he'd had that on, and what's it called? He walked past me to the bathroom or something like that. I was like, oh, he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute.
He's fine.
But then I was like, oh, he looks kind of young. But then I knew, like, he had to be 18. So I'm like, oh, he's older than 18.
He's legal.
I'm going to stalk him tonight on Instagram. I'm going to suss it out. I'll figure it out. But this guy's cute. So you weighed in. I took the photo, whatever. And it was... I thought you were good looking.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't speak to you or anything, so that was my actual first impression. I was like, he's cute.
Yeah. From my point of view, like, I was, like, hungry as I haven't eaten and stuff. But then, like, usually it's, like, some random guy taking the photo, but I was like, oh, this pretty girl's taking my photo.
What can I say?
And then, but then you're, like, so in the moment, you flex, do your face off.
Yeah, and then you're just gone straight away, like, Gonski.
I just want to go eat, recover, and whatever.
Yeah. And then so the next night, on the fight night, my cousin Tyrone was fighting. Shout out to Tyrone the Tyrant.
Tyrone, my man.
So that was his MMA debut, and so I think he was before you on the card.
Yeah, I was towards the end, I think.
Yeah, so he'd fought, and then when Joel had come out, I knew nothing about his striking style. I kind of stalked his Instagram and his Facebook that night. So I didn't really know much about him. I thought you were kind of a country guy, because in one of your fight photos on your page, you had like your chin hair was just like solid. That was kind of the only place you grew facial hair at that moment.
I was like 18, and that's just right on the chin.
So it was like one of your old posters too. So you had this thing. I was like, oh, maybe he's like a country guy, and then you were from like Penrith. Yeah, I was like, you got a weird like do you know what I'm talking about? Like that bottom one, just the bottom hair,
just the bottom.
And then you walked out to Selena Gomez, and I remember being
Same Old Love.
Yeah, Same Old Love. I remember being like, oh, this is a sick song. That's pretty cool for this guy to walk after that. He's about to fight someone. And then you were doing really good in the fight. Obviously, you're very talented, so you were doing well. And then you went to the ground at some point, and then I remember you grabbed your opponent's arm and like swept him.
Yeah.
And then I remember turning around to Raymond's brother Richie and saying like, Ricky, and saying like, oh, that was fucking cool. And he's like, yeah. And like, we're just watching. You end up losing that fight. Unfortunately. You're doing so good too. But I was like, oh, and I went home, and we went home to our place after. I lived with my cousins and my best friend Sarah at the time. And I was like, oh, should I like add him on Facebook or something? Like, what do you reckon I should do? Blah, blah, blah. And I sent you an inbox on Facebook and was like, hey, it was actually pretty like insensitive when I think back at it. I think I was just nervous. I just said, hey, like, you did really good tonight. I think with just a smiley face or something like that. And like thinking back, I'm like, you didn't win, which is fucking heartbreaking for you. And I'm just here trying to like be like, hey.
Yeah, I think it was like, hey, you did a really good job last night. And I was like, no, I didn't. I freaking lost the fight, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wouldn't write that now, but back then it seemed like I just wanted to talk to you. So kind of.
Yeah.
Thing, and then you kind of not shut me down, but you were just like, yeah, could have gone better or something like that. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm still telling my part of the story here. And then you'd come to ATT, I think, at some point to train after that.
Yeah, like I used to train at ATT for ages, but I would only go to the Saturday sparring.
Yeah.
I never went to like the
which is something I didn't do. So I went to training during the week and I didn't spar on Saturdays. I think at that point I was probably fucking terrified. And then you come to one class and you're wearing, I think, your Jackson Wink, like Rashi, you're wearing a white one or something like that. And then I think we had done MMA together, like in the same class. And then I messaged you again that night. I'm fucking obviously a thirsty bitch at this point. Like, hey, didn't know you trained at ATT. And then you started talking about something. And then we kind of we did that for a little bit, just a bit of messages here. I'd hoped to meet you at Raymond's birthday. I'd seen that you were invited to the event, and I was like, hey, Ray, is this guy coming? He's like, yeah, he is. And then so I like told my friends, and then we're just like waiting, and then you never showed up, and I was like, I could have been loving you earlier. And then, yeah, well, that was my first impression and like kind of my side of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the story. My side of the story, like, yeah. Obviously, I thought this, and then when you were messaging me, I was like, oh, this girl's cute, and she's messaging me, and I was kind of like nervous. But then, yeah.
You're just big, tall, lanky white boy. You're like, why is this fucking Asian bitch messaging me?
Yeah, I was
Is this a prank?
For real. But yeah, that was like that. Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, I think it was like, we kind of liked each other straight away. Like, we went on a date. I asked you on a date first too. I messaged you, like, every time we made contact, I would message you first. And then I asked you out on the first day. I remember we went to, I had a BJJ comp that day. And I think I won one, lost one or something. I don't know, some fucking shit. And then I went home and I was with the girls, like, that I live with, like Darby and Sarah. And I was like, oh, you know, like, should I message that guy? And you were like, oh, yeah, do you want to go get dinner or something? And then we went to Grilled in Wetherill Park.
Wetherill Park, yep.
And I remember you were wearing that shirt.
Which one?
That, the white with, like, the specs on it or something. You were wearing, like, a shirt with a pocket in it.
Yeah, right.
And I remember, because I was like, I'm going to get money out because I know he's going to try and pay. And I fucking hated that. Like, I always liked paying for myself. Just in any, you know, instant sort of thing. So I remember I'd taken money out and then I was like, he's going to fucking pay. And we're at the counter. I said, obviously at that time I was vegetarian. So I was like, oh, I'm vegetarian. You're like, oh, yeah. And then you paid, and then I was like, oh, and I took my money out and I like slipped it in your pocket. That's how I remembered you were wearing like that shirt because you had the pocket.
Yeah. Okay, I do.
Oh no, wait, was it?
I thought I tried to give the money back.
I think you did. Yeah, you did because I went and sat down as soon as you paid. I put it in your pocket and went and sat down, and then you came back over and you were like blah 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 blah. But whatever, it was one of your shirts with a pocket. And then we went on another date to the drive-ins. And you came and picked me up. Yeah,
I come and picked you up when I had a ute. I remember, did I ask you to the drive-ins? Yeah. So the drive-ins that were, where is it? I don't know. Blacktown, yeah, the Blacktown drive-ins. I remember my radio in the time in my ute didn't work. So I was like, oh shit, how are we going to like watch the thing? Because it plays through your own radio. Yeah. And I was like,
shit. Or you have those shitty speakers you put on your window. But
yeah. And then I was like, shit. So I went and bought like a freaking brand new, super expensive Makita work radio thing.
Trying to impress me.
Trying to impress her. And then I had had like gym mats in the back. And then what else?
You got a blanket, a new blanket from Kmart so we could sit in the tray of the ute, not inside the car.
Yeah, like in the back of the ute. And then like I bought a bunch of pillows and pillowcases and stuff from Kmart. This was
that is so nice. That is like the sweetest thing that's ever happened in my whole life.
And then and then I come and picked you up, and then we went and watched. Do you remember what movie it was?
I actually have no idea.
I have no clue.
I literally don't remember. I remember I was running around the house and I was like, I feel like I'm going to shit myself. And Darby and Sarah were there and they were like, it's going to be fine. And then you messaged me like, I'm at the front. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then it was like, we were driving along and just like, we're just asking each other questions as you sort of do on like the first couple of dates. Like, so.
Trying to make.
Yeah, like find out about this person because you literally know nothing about them. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, you know this thing and speak about your beliefs or whatever. It's like I fucking don't even know you. I met you like twice
literally.
At that point.
Who are you?
Yeah, so it was just like we're just going back and forth. I think with those sort of questions at the drive-ins, and then we didn't bloody even kiss.
I was nervous, and then you swerved me on this.
No, I swerved you the other time.
No, you swerved me on this. I was like, I did the old put the arm around, and then she was like, instead of like leaning into me, you were like, just straighten up, and I was like,
maybe my shoulder was sore or something on my fucking back. Maybe you read into it too much because I wanted to.
And then I was like, oh shit, maybe this girl doesn't like me, and so I was like, put my arm down, and I was like sitting there watching the movie, and then I was trying to like snuggle up. And then, I don't know.
We were just both nervous.
I was nervous.
Yeah, I was nervous too, man. I actually was so nervous. And it's so funny to think. See, that's what I mean about that time being relative thing.
Yeah.
It's like we weren't even dating then. And it was like, what a different point we're at right now compared to like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's trippy as fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
But do you remember, so our third date, we went to the beach.
Yeah.
We took our first photo together. Maybe we'll post the photo here. if it works. And I was so like nervous to be like, oh, do you want to take a photo? And I bought like a GoPro or something with me. And we laid the towels down. You were for some reason on the small towel, and I was on the huge beach towel. Yeah. Even though there's an obviously massive difference in our height and size. And I was like, oh, in my head, I was like, fuck, I want to take a photo because I think this could be something. Like, I just had that feeling, like, how cool we're on our third date. I should take a photo now. Because I think on our first date when we'd gone out to Grilled, I'd taken a photo on Snapchat of like your hands, and you had your watch. I remember you had your watch on.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember taking a photo of that and sending it just to my friends, just like, oh, I'm on a date with that guy, sort of thing. Yeah, and like, so you obviously had no idea.
Instagram ones where it's like before someone starts dating, you just see just the hands.
Yeah, I just sent it to my friends though. I didn't put it up anyway. I just sent it to my friends. And so on the third date, I was like, nah, like I feel like this could be something. Like we had like a really great connection straight away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to ask for a photo. And we got the photo together, and it was super sweet. And then I remember I was just kind of going all out at this point. I was like, fuck it, like I want to be happy. Like I like this guy. I'm not going to pretend to act cool and shit. Like I want to be able to put myself out there and be like, hey, I like you, sort of thing. So I was like, oh, I found these questions, and I actually found them on my phone again. I'll read through some of them now. But I was like, hey, I found these questions that's apparently supposed to make you and a potential partner like fall in love and like connect sort of straight away. It was like 30 something questions. Do you remember that? Like going through that? Yeah. And we actually did them,
It was like deep, insightful stuff rather than like, I don't know, just like small talk. It was like kind of...
Yeah, I'll read some of them now.
Get them up. Yeah, it was cool though. I remember that day, it was like, that was the day I was like, no, this chick's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
It was like...
I sort of thought that on our first date.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Because there was one thing that like in my brain, like it's cool if you thought that on the third date, but in my brain it was like, you'd said this, I'm not even going to mention what it was about because it wasn't a good topic, but you'd said something and I was just like, oh, this guy's a fucking funny cunt. Like he's actually real. Like about what he actually believes in. I know he's not being malicious by what he's saying, but it actually made me be like, oh, you're actually really cool. Yeah. Like you're not a little bitch, just not say what you think just because I'm sitting there, sort of thing. Like, and I had the same opinion anyway, so it made it even better.
Yeah, definitely.
So some of the questions, do you want to like? I'll read a couple now.
Yeah.
So do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Name three things you and your partner appear to have in common. So there was just sort of connection straight away. It's like you've got to be like, oh, I actually think this about you instead of putting this sort of facade thing. So it was kind of cool. Like, for what in your life do you feel most grateful? If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? So there was like the questions were pretty like in depth, like straight away.
Heavy questions.
Like it was pretty cool. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be? So that's not really a full on. There was one about like, what's your most treasured memory and what is your most terrible memory? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's full on. What
roles do love and affection play in your life? It's all actually really, like, legit shit that people should be talking about anyways.
Did that have the thing about, like, the 5 love languages?
No, it didn't, but that's something we ended up doing after.
Yeah, we talked, yeah.
Which was massive, like, eye-opener, hey? Like, as soon as you get to that sort of point. And it's not like everyone doesn't even have to do that sort of stuff. It was something that for us was just like, oh shit. But who knew humans would be so predictable? Like basically, and it's so easy to actually like fill your partner's cup up by just knowing the way that they need to be loved, sort of thing. Yeah,
definitely. Because it's like for me, like what's the 5 love languages? Like when one of them...
So we have the same ones.
Yeah.
So ours are quality time and acts of service.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, like, I would say, assumed. Like, I feel like we both definitely received love in that way. It wasn't kind of hard to figure that out about each other. It was like we love spending time together, and that's when we feel the most full. And acts of service, like... helping each other with shit we need help with.
Yeah,
in any way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the other ones are like gifts, words of affirmation,
and physical touch. Yeah.
So that's the 5 of them. And I mean, like, everyone relates to all of them, I guess, in a different way. It's just one of them or a couple of them might be more
It's like
valued.
What do they appreciate most, sort of thing. How can I help them the most?
Kind of based on how they were raised too, how their parents loved them, how they gained. The parents gained their affection or showed their affection.
Their affection, yeah, definitely.
It's how we obviously would receive it. That's how we were taught. That's people we were grown up with. That's the first instance of feelings, is like your parents or your siblings or whatever.
Yeah. I just today I started reading How to Do the Work by the holistic psychologist, and she was speaking about how like how much of your personality is formed from those critical childhood instances, like even when you're in the crib and your mum's not making eye contact, or and like just stuff like how much that influences like who we are today, sort of thing.
100%. And I feel like if you don't think that it does, then you're very far from the truth of life. Like, it's crazy how much shit that we carry from when we're children into the habits. If you think back to even when you're a kid, you might not do little kid shit, but the way you react to things, your emotional maturity and everything is exactly you as a child. And some people don't actually grow out of that. And if you're aware of it, then you do. Just like reactivity, things that trigger you, make you sad, happy, angry, all of it.
Yeah, and that's what she was speaking about. Like once you bring awareness to those patterns or how you react, and then you start to figure out, okay, well, like, why do I react to that sort of thing? And then once you kind of do that work and figure some stuff out, then like once you're aware of it, and then you can slowly start to change it.
Create new habits
and patterns.
Yeah. And so what we were talking about was how we met. And so it was like we literally delved into this sort of shit pretty much straight away, I would say. Like there wasn't kind of any hesitation about wanting to get to know each other properly. Like we're both so what's the word? Like interested in each other. Like we're both we're both on the same page sort of with everything. Like you never once went, oh, I don't want to do that or anything like that. You were like open and welcoming to like the ideas I had, and then I was willing to put myself out there and give you these ideas, sort of thing. Even when we first started dating, the letters we wrote, do you remember?
Wrote, I think.
Wrote. Anyways, 1 week in, so it was supposed to be 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or something like that, to just write a letter to each other and then write the date and seal it over, and then you choose a date. I think we did probably like 4 of them, and then that was like all the first year, and then we didn't do anything after that. But 1 week in, I was like, hey, I've seen this thing, like, do you want to like write a letter to each other now at this point in time, like about how we feel at 1 week of dating? You know, to think now we're 4 years later, we still have that letter. I can literally see it right now sitting up in the box. But it was funny because we sort of just were like, man, fuck it, let's like crush these sort of barriers and bullshit, like our own personal barriers and bullshit, like let's kind of put it to the side and like try and have a relationship
and try stuff. Like I think for me at that time it was like a very pivotal time too. Like I was like trying to put myself out there and do new things rather than just follow on the way you've always been, sort of thing. I was like, let's try new things and we can see what happens, sort of thing. You were like 19 at that point, turning 20, hey? Turning 20. I'm just going to check if this is still recording.
You were like 19, turning 20 at that point, and it was just a huge, like that's the next stage of your life, sort of thing. Like you're literally a teen going to an adult. You know, that one day makes a difference or something, but it's like, it actually is. That's when you know, as a society, we think like, oh, I'm an adult now, sort of thing. Like, I'm not a teen anymore. So it was like such a huge point, such a pivotal moment for us to find each other, like an important sort of time in both of our lives, I think. So I think that was really cool. So we're both just willing to like, you know, try and go on that journey of being our truer selves. And it didn't take, like, it took a long time. Like the beginning was very fucking everywhere, as most like relationships are. Like you love each other so much, but it's like they start annoying you, or there's shit they do and you're like, why the fuck did they do that, or whatever.
Definitely.
And we kind of came to every kind of hurdle and figured out a way to get over it in our own ways and like sort it out between each other and understand it. Exactly.
It's like two completely different human beings with their own life experiences, like coming together. Like, of course, there's going to be differences in the way you do this. Like, I do it this way. Like, even silly little stuff, like the way I wash the dishes compared to how you wash the dishes.
100%. Even in the car, like, I'm pretty good with it now because I just try to, grow fucking at some point in my life. But it was like the volume thing in the car. Like, you'd turn the volume up to just whatever, and I remember just like I'd have to always fix it to like 45 or 40.
You're like OCD.
Yeah, it's not even like OCD. It was just it would annoy me. Yeah, so I was just like, this has to. Why would you do it at 43 when you can do it at 45? And then I remember you telling me once that you were pissed off or like annoyed with how loud I would have the music when I was driving in my car.
Yeah,
I remember you saying to me like when we first started dating, like this is so irritating. Why do you have it this loud?
I know. It like, I don't know. It might be like loud noises kind of do like they irritate me in like a kind of autistic way.
But it's so funny of those things. It's like now we both know that stuff about each other, but back then it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I don't do it that way. Why are you doing it that way?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember when you asked me out?
Yeah. Oh, how I asked you out.
Yeah, and do you remember how I asked you out first?
Yes. So we have this debate, but I definitely asked her out first. So I was over your house where you were living at the time.
Yeah.
And then I knew I wanted to ask her out. Actually, I wanted to ask you out the night before, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, it was your birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. Okay, I won't do it on my birthday. I'll do it the day
Just
after.
the day after.
So I went and I got
So wait, let me preface this with Joel was at training. I was at the hospital because my cousin Daisy had just been born that same day. And I come home from the hospital. I cook dinner. So I tell Joel, yeah, come over. I'll make you dinner. He goes, yeah, awesome. And then he comes to my house after training. I've made him a delicious vegetarian pasta.
Yes, but my plan was I was going to go get a cheese pizza, which I did. So I went to Domino's around the corner, got the cheese pizza. Then I had to go to a servo because I didn't have a texture in my car. And then I wrote on the in the box, I know this is cheesy, but will you be my girlfriend? And then I come back to the house, and then because she's already ate, I'm like, hey, do you want pizza? And she's like, no, I don't want any pizza.
I was annoyed because I was like, I fucking just made you pasta. I told you I was making you dinner tonight. And then he turns up with the pizza. I'm like, what the hell?
And then I was like, come. And then you ended up coming over, and then you read it, and then you said, yes, I'll be your girlfriend.
Yeah, but so this is my part of the story, which is a crock of bullshit. So that's what Joel believes happens, and that he asked me out first. But on his birthday, the day before, as we just stated, I made Joel a puzzle. I have photos of it, making it the week before his birthday or something, or a few days before his birthday. So a blank puzzle, and I wrote on it, will you be my boyfriend? Coloured it all in, made it all cute. I think it'd be somewhere. And I gave you the puzzle for your birthday as a present. Mm-hmm. As in my brain, oh, cool, he's going to do the puzzle. And then it's me asking him to be my boyfriend. And he didn't fucking do it.
I didn't do it.
So essentially, I had the intention first. And had he just have been a nice dude and checked out the puzzle I got him, I would have asked him out first.
Yes, but it didn't happen that way. So I did ask you out.
That's a crock of shit, mate. It's actually a crock of shit. Because it's like... The puzzle was cool too. It would have been such a better idea. Like, the pizza's pretty cute, but I'm like so team puzzle.
Yeah, the puzzle was cool.
And you didn't do it, and I was kind of like waiting around like, does that mean he says no? Like, he's just not replied to me. He's not saying anything.
I opened it and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was like, he's done it. He's been like, nah, I'll just pretend I didn't do it. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And here we are 4 years later. It's funny to think back at it.
Let me just check that in.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, 34 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to do another question?
Yeah, do the next one.
Darby asked, tips and expectations when going through injury recovery.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so where should I start with
start with your injury, like for the people that don't know, or the people who know what happened but don't really know what happened.
Yeah, should I bring some context to the whole thing? Basically, like, started fighting, boxing, kickboxing when I was 15. I fought without pretty much any injury up until When
2019. Oh, you'd broken your hand.
Yeah.
Before you were going to make your pro boxing debut.
Oh, yeah, true.
But that was about it. That was just like a little punch at training. That wasn't huge, big dealio.
But then, in April 2019, I tore my Achilles.
So we're at the gym.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. I was just moving around with Chellisa. And I literally changed stance, like from orthodox into southpaw. As I stepped, I thought I stepped on wood. I heard this loud snap.
Thought the floor broke. We were like literally standing there looking at the mats going, oh, maybe we broke the mats or something.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that sound? It was like real loud.
It was fucking loud.
It was really loud. And then I was looking on the ground. I was like, what the hell did I step on? And then I was like, shit, I can't walk.
And my heart, like, in that moment was the most, oh my God, like, it just sunk. Like, my stomach was like, boom. And, like, I've injured myself before. I've had a surgery before. But it was, like, that moment, because you don't expect it to happen, obviously. You're not deliberately injuring yourself. So it was, like, when you're like, I can't walk. And I was, like, my brain was, like, that noise was just something in his body.
Yeah.
Something's gone wrong. What's the fuck's going to happen? Because you were fighting at that point, like, every couple months. You were, like, in a constant camp. It was, like, fight after fight after fight.
Like, basically between... When did I turn pro?
When you were 19.
I was 19... And then I tore it when I was 22, yeah?
Yeah, so 3 years.
Basically within 3 years...
It was 2 years.
It was,
because you were turning 20 at the end of that year. The year you made your pro debut, you turned 20.
So basically, 2.5 years, I had 11 pro fights. Like, it was literally just camp after camp. Like, I remember one time when I fought on XFC, and then 2 weeks later, I fought on Urban.
Yeah.
So I was just, like, in camp constantly.
Yeah. And then so for that to happen was just like, oh my God. And like, obviously your goals and whatever at that point was just like, what the fuck's going on? And we went to the hospital. And then, they basically said you tore your Achilles.
Yeah.
Show us the scar. Chuck it up.
Yeah. Can you see it?
You should hopefully be able to see it. The back of your ankle there.
Yeah, it's a pretty gnarly scar. But, yeah, it was pretty full on, like, the injury. Then I got surgery.
The 18th?
On, like, the 18th of April.
Yeah, so you had 2 weeks of him having a cast on crutches, so he couldn't move his foot or anything. So it was a 6 centimetre detachment? Tear? Whatever you want to call it?
Yeah,
6 centimetres?
Yeah, it completely ruptured. And it tore, like, 6 centimetres up. Like, when I did it, you could kind of see, like, the Achilles up there. It was, like, really gross.
And so your foot was, like, casted downward.
Yeah.
So the two pieces were closer together, so it didn't kind of tear more. So for 2 weeks, you're walking around with that cast, the front cast.
Yeah.
And crutches. And it was just like this, just felt like a hellhole.
Yeah. It was crazy because it's like, even from when I started fighting at 15, like 15 to 19 or 15 to 18-ish, I had like 30 fights.
Yeah.
Like, I was just so basically from 15 to 22, all I knew was fucking training camp after training camp. Like, I never had any rest. Like, maybe I'd take a few days off after a fight or something, but nothing like this. And then
so to have such a huge injury was just like crazy. And we were going like interstate for fights and everything too, so we'd have like weekends where we'd be in Melbourne or Queensland or whatever for fighting. So it was it was a pretty big thing. They weren't like the UFC or huge shows like that, but it was an actual trip. Like, we'd go and have to cut weight interstate, pack suitcases for the weekend, catch early flights, get our cat sit at Franklin, cat sit at that point. So it was a pretty full-on thing, and then for it to just kind of stop and to go, okay, you've torn your Achilles, that's about, 6 months minimum recovery sort of thing.
So what they...
But it was like, it was pretty just like, boom.
Yeah. Really, like, they said 6 months, but then the surgeon said that's for people like David Beckham and... Who have the money, resources. That are getting, like, treatment every day. Like, generally it's like 18 months, if not, like, longer, to 2 years. Yeah, because you basically have to, like, you were in a boot for so long, for 3 months or something after it. Yeah. With your heel elevated the whole time, so it was having foot pain, like, it was so much shit that went into it. And then every, like, however many couple of weeks, you'd have to remove a little wedge.
so his heel could slowly go down and stretch it out. So it was such a long process, and like majority of that time we went from training full-time, working full-time at that point too, when you were fighting, to you tearing your Achilles, and then we just sat at home. It was like depression in a way, but in a way it was a break you needed.
Oh, 100%.
So like, although it was like crazy change of lifestyle, it was kind of good in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the growth I've had since I've been injured, like just personally, freaking spiritually, like
physically,
even physically, like physically training, like how I train, everything, like
even the size difference of you in that point in time, from like not cutting weight constantly, like starving yourself.
Like I'm sure, like I've heard people speak about it, like I'm sure there'll be science that comes out in the future, like weight cutting every 8 weeks, like it can't be good for you.
You can't imagine so.
So
we just kind of stayed home the whole time playing Fortnite. We moved our PC into the room with our TV and the PlayStation, and then we just would bloody duo up, play Fortnite, story mode. We fucking loved it. Like, it was pretty good for what it was, even though you couldn't kind of do anything.
Like, I learned pretty quickly to, like, make the most of it. Because, like, when you're sitting on the lounge all day, it's like, you can be sour about it and be like, oh, I hate this, but then you're just suffering for all that time.
Kind of just accepting where you're at, because you can't change the past. You literally can't do anything. So it's like, we might as well enjoy it while you have that opportunity.
And then like just the changes I made in that time, like about my mentality and everything. And like when you're fighting so much, your whole identity is like tied to that sort of thing. And if that's all you're doing all day, all you're thinking about, like, it was like, whoa, it was just a break to be like, okay, who am I outside of fighting? Like, and
that's like a shock in itself too.
It's like, it's rough discovering yourself when you start looking at yourself, and
like you're not just this one thing, like Joel the fighter.
Definitely.
It was kind of crazy, even just watching the growth sort of you had. Like, I'm not you, we grew in different ways together, but just watching your progression, like just as a person to who you were before, and then like the person you are now, is crazy. And I know our friends will say the same sort of thing too, like our families. Like, it was just like physically you look different. You were so skinny and just malnourished at that point. So malnourished and just overworked and overtrained.
Malnourished welterweight.
And like now you just seem to have clarity in life, and clarity in the person you are and who you're becoming, or like the journey of that, and clarity in what you want from it too, instead of just this constant adrenaline rush of I need to fight, I need to prove myself, whatever it is, to whoever it is, you or whoever, to now having clarity and just going, okay, I know what's going to come for me, and it'll come when it comes. I'm not wanting that thing right now. You're trying to get your body right, your headspace in the right place, your intentions with what you want out of fighting all correct, instead of just doing it for the sake of doing it, which is what you were doing before.
Definitely. Like, I was just, because that's what I had been doing, and like, it's like when you're it's like kind of a form of like escape, like instead of dealing with yourself and really thinking, like when you always have something to work for, you're like, oh, that takes priority. Like, it's like people that work too much, like, are you working because you really want to work, or it's like, are you hiding from something sort of thing? So like just going through that journey of like self-discovery and growing into like who I want to be sort of thing.
For sure. And it's been cool, like now training again full time. Can I have
some water, sorry?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you.
Now training again full time, and being like, oh yeah, this is what life was like. That's right. Like going back to like, oh okay, like you're gonna have a fight again one day. Which just seems foreign now because it hasn't happened for 2 years. So it's just like this weird thing of like, oh, this was what life was before, and trying to merge the two together. Like definitely. The full going, which I think we're doing a pretty good job with now. We've kind of found our sweet spot. And obviously by doing this podcast, we'll have more time, we'll squeeze in more time for ourselves too, which is what we've done over the past couple of years that you haven't been fighting, because before it was just training, traveling, this organisation, work, but now we've kind of got a good balance of training and work. And now we can bring into like the stuff we want to do, like reading, relaxing, playing games if that's it, and being able to do this too.
Yeah, definitely. Like yeah, before when I was like fighting, like I'm fighting the top guys in the country sort of thing, and I'm still working like a full-time job, like crazy. Doing overtime like most days, like,
and then going to training
and then going to training and
like, man, I don't miss it. Was actually fucked up.
No,
I don't know how people do it.
Yeah,
like people that
shout
do
out
it now,
to like people that are like working full-time and training full-time.
Fucking real
man.
Ones. That's like, it's heavy, man. It was so hard, and we never seen each other. Like, we'd be training together at the gym, but it was like we have no time. Like, we're at work full-time all day, long shifts, go to the gym, you're there all night or all afternoon, like just getting smashed. You go home, you shower, dinner, sleep, and then the same thing the next day. And then you're training on Saturday too, so Sunday's the only kind of down day to do everything. It's fucking like, it's a hard life, man. It's mental.
It's full on, man. Like, that's why I'm so happy now, to the point like the lifestyle we've created. Like, should we talk, or should I stick about the Achilles, or? Yeah,
well, she just had said, like, tips and expectations when going through injury recovery. So things to sort of expect.
Yeah, like.
So tips and expectations, like, what would you say to someone who has to go through something?
My biggest tip is just, like, be present in each moment. Like, don't be like, oh, when I come back, this, that, like.
Oh, I'm missing out.
I'm missing out. It's like, be where you are right now.
Yeah.
Fully accept that. And work from there, sort of thing. And the biggest, like, physical side of it, like, coming back from injury, like, the team, like, me and Chellisa now both train Ethos Performance under Mir, and the team there, like, having a proper program and, like, a structure to what you need to do.
To prevent injury.
Both prevent it and rehab it.
Yeah.
Like since I joined Ethos, like, my gains have been, like, remarkable.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Just like when you go there, it's like if you see your physio maybe every 2 weeks, and they're like, all right, do this at home, and like the majority of people aren't probably gonna do that, and it's hard to find. I didn't
fucking do it half the time. Like, I knew I was in pain and I still didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like stupid, I know, but it's like, it's hard. Like, it's hard sometimes you don't have that motivation to do something.
Yeah, but like then if you when we turn up at Ethos, it's go time sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're already at the gym, so it's like I might as well do everything like you're supposed to, sort of thing. Like, it was good having that structure at Ethos.
So making sort of structure in your own life, if you have like an injury you're coming back from or whatever, is like structuring in your own way. You don't have to go to Ethos
obviously don't
whatever,
go to Ethos. I was just
but having sort of having that sort of structure in your own life and trusting where you are and knowing that you'll get back to where you want to be, but you've kind of got to set out how you want to do that, because it's tough coming back from whatever sort of injury it is. Like, it's a massive, even just getting fit again, let alone having to learn a sport or whatever. It's huge. Anything like that you would say to people that they can expect? Like,
as in how so?
Like going or coming from, or think of even yourself now, knowing you're going into another surgery very soon. Anything you would kind of tell your future self now? When you're in that pain, when you're in that slump of sitting on the couch again because you have to?
Yeah, I think, like, obviously those things I said, like, fucking accept where you are, don't try and fight it, like, accept, okay, I'm here, do as much as you can and do what you can in that time. But for me, like, going into this next surgery, for those of you who don't know, like, so I tore my Achilles on my left side, but I've had a bad left hip basically like my whole career sort of thing. And then when I tore the Achilles, the hip got even worse just because that left side wasn't as strong sort of thing.
Well, it was really sort of the chicken or the egg.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what, when I've spoken to my physios and stuff, they said, like, which come first sort of thing, like, you're like developing bad patterns of like
happens would have been alright, wouldn't it?
But and then like compensating on that side, so then maybe that was like predisposed to happen, sort of thing, because of the hip. But
so the hip essentially is too big for the socket.
Yeah.
So you're just got to go in, shave it down, and then rehab it. And so it's like grown genetically, genetically just grown that way.
And then obviously kicking and everything.
Yeah.
Like if I just worked a desk job and sat down, it would probably be fine. But like even for my whole career, I could never really kick from my left side. I could only kick with my right leg.
Yeah.
And even in certain positions, like when I try lock up a triangle, I couldn't really do it from my left side because
the angle,
it would like impinge on my hip, sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically have surgery again, and then rehab, and then back into it. And that's what's so what I think is so good is that you've gotten yourself into a great shape now, and getting fitter and stronger from training. And then so this will sort of, it won't be as big of a step back as the Achilles was.
Yeah.
Because for that you were fit because you were fighting, obviously, but you weren't doing any strength training. You weren't eating right, like, at all.
Yeah.
And now being vegetarian, eating like mostly plant-based anyways, having a good training schedule, getting stronger, all that sort of stuff. The step back for this surgery and the time off isn't going to be as crazy, and the impact's not going to be as big. As
bad, yeah. Especially like with this, because it's like a planned surgery.
Yeah.
I can, like, my goal is to get as fit and as strong as possible.
Yeah.
In those areas, in my hip, in my bum, all those sort of areas. That way, when I do come back, I'm not starting from like scratch sort of thing. I've already got a good base to build from, so hopefully I can get back as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's going to be cool though. To say it sort of came really quickly. Went to the hospital, was kind of like, you have to wait 12 months, and then boom.
Yeah, and then like 2 months later, I only put it in like 2 months ago, and then so it's good. Like my plan was, because in the meantime I was just gonna go box in the meantime until I got the surgery, but now, because it's literally like a bit over a month away, I'll have the surgery and then I can go back to MMA after that.
Yeah, boy.
Let's go.
It's going to be fucking sick, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Like, what a thrill.
Yeah. And even now, like, my body, like, before I was, like, a malnourished...
skinny white
boy. Like, you could see it in my body, like, sort of thing. But now, like, I'm walking around, like, 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Feel big, strong, powerful, and for MMA, I'll probably go back to middleweight.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Who fucking knows?
We'll see how it goes. Like,
who knows what life holds?
Yeah.
They're so like you have like a strange body type in that way, like because you're very tall and skinny. Well, you're not skinny now, but you have like a long figure sort of thing. So you hold weight very differently to other people. So you can say you're 100 kilos and we look at someone else who's 100 kilos and looks like a fucking brick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very like relative. Like, you could kind of go wherever you wanted to. So it's essentially, once you get to that point, seeing like what's right for your body in that moment.
Yeah, definitely. Even like light heavyweight, like that's still,
there's so many options.
Big
like,
weight
that's what I mean. You're kind of like
heavy,
you can cut down to smaller if you wanted to, but your size, you know what I mean? It's a fucking
fight these heavyweights.
Yeah. No, that'd be fucking scary.
Yeah, not Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, no way.
When you see people like that, you're like, nah, I'll stick to the lighter weight class.
Yeah, should we read another question?
Mm-hmm. Let me just check this time real quick.
Oh, so we have a few that are kind of under the bracket of like conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to speak about those or our opinions on them? So one of them, flat Earth, yeah or nah?
Me?
No, it's I'm just giving you a quick gist of what it is.
Oh,
okay. Flat Earth. Someone wrote conspiracy theories. 5G, question mark. And thoughts on aliens and life outside of Earth.
Okay. Touched on a few topics there.
Yeah. We're going to start with flat Earth conspiracy.
Flat Earth? Yeah.
What are your opinions on it, Joel? What's your perspective?
Like I understand the logic of it. Like, I've never seen the entire Earth.
That's the one. No, and that's the one thing that I know it sounds stupid when you hear someone go, the Earth's flat. You go, oh yeah, but when you think about it, it's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Earth. I've only seen a NASA generated image of what the Earth looks like. I actually physically with my own fucking eyeballs, I don't actually know. I can read a book and go, yeah, I've seen in this book that the Earth's flat. I've seen in this video of outer space that the Earth's flat round. But it's like, I have, with my own eyeballs, never seen that in my fucking life.
Yeah, like the logic behind it, like when you just say the Earth's flat, like it sounds kind of stupid, but like I've delved into it a little bit and like...
Mate, I delve every night.
The logic is kind of like I understand the logic behind it, because it's like you're just taking other people's words as gospel sort of thing. Like, it's like you listen to the scientists. It's like, okay, but like, are they telling the truth?
Yeah,
like,
who the fuck knows? I don't know.
know.
I can believe them if I want to, which is totally fine. And I mean, like, I do, but at the same time, like, I actually don't know anything. I have no idea if dinosaurs were real. I have no idea what the Earth looks like. I don't know how hot the sun is. I've never seen it. I've just read and I'm going, oh yeah, this person said it. Cool, that's probably the truth. But really, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that the flat Earth stuff sort of brought out in people was people wanting to be so right and just holding on to what their beliefs were. Like the people that are like, the Earth isn't flat.
Oh, like the...
Globers. I think that's what I think that's
globals.
What the globals. I think that's what it's called. But it's like they get so butthurt that people think the Earth's flat. It's like, why the fuck do you care what other people believe? Who actually cares? Let someone believe that. Let someone think that maybe the sky isn't blue, it's orange. Well, that's a stupid... Do you know what I mean though? Like, it's like, let them believe what they want to believe. It doesn't matter if they think the Earth's flat. They obviously have their reasons. It's not up to you to tell them what they should believe just because you believe something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let people think whatever
they want to think. It's fucking cool. Look into it. I follow a Flat Earth Instagram. I like seeing what they post. Some shit just is... It seems like bullshit. And other shit, I'm like, that's pretty cool, man. It's cool to just see that sort of stuff. Like, I actually follow a lot of conspiracy Instagrams just to sort of see the gist of the things they're saying, the proof or whatever it is that they have. It's actually really interesting, and it's not necessarily true and it's not necessarily fake. It's just cool. If it's a fucking fake story, it's still a cool fake story. And do you know what I mean? Like, we watch movies every single day that have complete and utter bullshit, made up bullshit, but it's like, we enjoy that. So it's like, why can't you just enjoy this other person's theory without it letting you hurt you, without their beliefs hurting you? It's like, just enjoy it for what it is. It's a cool story. If it's a story, it's a story then. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you don't need to defend it. Like, okay, like the probability, the world's probably round.
Yeah.
Like, we can fly there. Like, I've been to America.
Yeah.
But, like, even then, it's like, I don't know, man. Like,
it's not something to argue over. Because I don't really care either way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's so funny.
Yeah, but then, like, with some of the conspiracy theories, right? Like when the whole Jeffrey Epstein shit come out, like, and you realize that shit's real, like, you've heard the, like...
That's what I mean. It's like, it's one of those things, and we can't even delve into everything to the extent it needs to be spoken about, but it's like, it really is a rabbit hole, hey? Like, it's actually crazy.
Yeah, like, when that became, like, truth sort of thing, because conspiracy theories in the past where it was like, there's Hollywood pedophile rings and like all this, like there's elite power pedophile rings and stuff like that, and it was like, everyone was like, nah, that's like no one really, like, that was a conspiracy theory. But then when it come to light, like that evil shit,
it was mind-blowing.
Like, it
was crazy, and it kind of happened. I mean, people have been talking about this sort of stuff for years, like all sort of conspiracy theories, not just this. Like, there's, I even hate calling them conspiracy theories. It's like, whatever. Theories, people's theories. To conspiracy, it's like, it makes it sound dodgy.
Big conspiracy.
They're all watching me. I mean, they're all watching us anyways. We're putting this out there for you to watch us. But it's like, COVID happened last year, and so we're all in lockdown. And so everything just sort of got crazy. Hey, or maybe that's just when we first started noticing it massively, because everyone was just on social media 24/7 because we couldn't leave our fucking houses. But it was crazy, hey. Like, it was actually just like, there were so many things that I would like, you know, see people posting about. There's like discussions, and it was just like mind-blowing. Like there are so many different views of different things in the world, like a million different sides to every story out there, whether it be a theory or a truth. Like it's so infinite. Like there's so many. It's not as black and white as we'd like it to be, unfortunately. Like it's not like even like one of the questions is like thoughts on aliens outside of Earth. It's not like they exist, they don't exist. It's like people can disprove and prove anything that you want to know or believe in. Like there's always someone who is, you know, a professional in their field, whatever it is. There's always someone who can prove something and then disprove it. And like everything otherwise is just speculation. Like everything. We don't know. We only know our truth in our own life that we're living day to day.
What I've experienced sort of thing. But then it's like
hope makes me go, I think there are aliens out there.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. That's just my wish, or not even a wish. That's just what a possibility because I've watched movies or something. But it's like
I wish aliens were out there.
But say we didn't watch movies. What would we envision? Like, what do you envision an alien looking like? A green head, fucking big-eyed, slimy person. That's what I think. And that's only because a movie has put that image in my head, which is what I perceive to be then possible. I've seen this in a movie, so that possibly could be out there. It's like, I don't fucking know. That's a constructed vision and thought. Like, do I actually believe that? That someone's put in my head. I don't know. Like, I would love for there to be aliens, but then also, why would I love for there to be... I don't know why I would love for there to be aliens. It'd be cool. Because I've seen it be cool in movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing. So, you know...
Yeah, I think you're, like, touching on, like, a deeper thing there that, like... Which, like I've kind of struggled with, like, flipping back and forth. Like, that thing of, like, determinism. Like... Am I just a product of my environment? Every moment that happened, like from the Big Bang, like, am I
the Big Bang theory? That's a fucking theory.
That sounds more ridiculous than Jesus.
That sounds more ridiculous than there being a flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? But that's what I'm saying. Theory, like you continue on your point of determinism, but it's like that's a fucking theory. Sorry, continue with your point.
Exactly, but like. Are we just a product of our environment? Like, are we only doing this podcast because of everything that's ever happened to us? And then it's like, there's so many there's no number for it, or variables like that could have taken place. And
that's the thing with like these like conspiracy theories or theories or whatever. It's like, let these people believe what they want to believe. Let every person in the world believe what they want to believe, because they actually have had their own path and forged and from their own lives, and what they believe to be true for them actually might be.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
And like, obviously, you can still have a debate about it. Like, I can ask you, why do you think like this? And that's how humans improve.
That's how we interact.
Sort of thing. But like, thinking that you should think this way, or
trying to control other people's like lives and thoughts is so unnecessary. Like, I just think like you can have discussions about things and say why you believe something to be true and whatever, but then that's where it should kind of stop. You shouldn't be trying to convince someone otherwise.
And that's like the argument for free speech, right? Like I'm getting all political and fucking all big and mystical and shit, but like...
Big mystical Joel.
But yeah, if your idea is better than mine, like, then you'll convert me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if someone thinks a horse is a better way to get around, but then I show them a car, like, I'm not going to tell them not to ride the horse, but like... Like, my idea is better, it works better, it goes faster, sort of thing. Yeah. I don't know, where were we going in that?
Conspiracy theories.
So
aliens, thoughts on aliens and life outside of Earth. Well, we kind of touched on it. Like, we don't know if that's just because we've seen them and we think they could be true. I have no idea what is outside of my immediate realm right now. That thing of if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does that make a sound? I've never not been in a forest and been in a forest to know if it makes a sound. Like, you can't live simultaneously in two lives. So what I know to be true in my life, conspiracy theories or not, knowledge, whatever, is my actual existence right now in this second. And I don't know what's happening in 2 minutes, nor do I know what happened 10,000 years ago. It's right now, day to day, that I live, that I know to be true. And if I find new information, then I might think something else to be true. But it's a constant rocky road. Like,
you're always learning new information, like,
which, you know, contradicts previous information you thought you knew too. And
I think that's the thing, like, be open-minded to information. Like, don't think your ways are the right way. Like, be open to new ways.
Like, for sure. Like, even one of the things was 5G. And I was like, when I thought about that, I was like, I don't know anything about it. I know there's towers everywhere, but it's like, I don't have a theory on that because I actually have no knowledge on that. And I wouldn't get angry at someone who believes that it's mind control, cancer giving, fucking alien tech. I don't know, whatever people think it to be, but I'm not going to tell them no because I have no idea about it. I don't have an opinion. And it's frankly none of my business until I find information and make my choice in what I believe.
It's like, I don't know how a phone works, man. Like,
I don't know. What the hell's 5G? What is that even made? I literally don't know what that is. I don't know what 4G is, and I don't know what 3G is.
I don't know what the difference is. Like,
what are the Gs?
How do I even speak to someone across the world? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, like, it's great. That's what I mean. It's like you can't just like form your identity around this one sole thing to be true and everything else to be fake. It's so fluid, and you know, we always say grow with the flow. Grow with it, baby. Like, if something, you're going this way and then you learn something that takes you this way, fucking go with it. Don't try and prove why your original path and truth and belief is all that exists, because it's not. There's 7 billion people in this world, probably more. I don't know what the actual number is. I'm saying 7 billion, but who is anyone? No 7 billion people are going to live the exact same life and experience. No one.
Exactly. Like,
that's what I mean. It's just it's so, it seems so simple, but it's so not. Like, there's so many things that we just, you know, we think to be. There's 7 billion of us. I'm not even finishing my sentence, but in my brain I know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many infinite possibilities in life, and we simply can't
fathom that. Like,
we can't, and we can't comprehend. We can't fathom that, you know, ridiculous number. But you can't also think that your one truth is all of life's existence. Like, there's 7 billion of us. There's 7 billion main characters in movies out there. That's the way I see it. When we're driving in a car and I see a random person drive past in a red car, maybe he's got a black hat on, I get freaked out. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's that guy going?
I know that, like,
where's that dude going? I don't even know that dude, but where the fuck's he going?
That's what freaks me out, being in like large public settings when there's like so many people.
Oh my god, it's overwhelming.
All living their different story, got different shit to do. Oh, I got to call this person. Just like interacting and creating
Voices,
new stories,
thoughts. Like, that's the shit that trips me out. I know how much I think, right? And we've all got brains. We all do a million things a day. What's everyone else thinking? Like, it's so trippy. It's so trippy. Like, sometimes you just have to go, okay, it is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
If I'm walking past a child, even children creep me out the most, I think, in that sense, because I'm like, you don't even know what you are. Like, and you're existing in my existence. I've just crossed paths and you don't even know what you are right now.
No.
I was once you, and I didn't know what I was either. That's what, like, I'm like, ooh.
And then it's like,
it's crazy, hey.
It's crazy, man.
It's fucking crazy. It blows my mind. So is that all conspiracy theories?
I think so.
I mean, damn, we just smashed them.
I think that's a good topic to end it on, growing with the flow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like over an hour?
Yeah, I'm happy to end it there.
First one done.
First one done and dusted. We got through some of our questions. And we'll get this up and we'll be on to the next one. Who knows what we'll talk about. I mean, I think it's just kind of going to go anywhere our brains sort of go. We've talked about a few things today. Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool. Yeah. Like, I think it's just kind of this is where our train of thought and our normal conversations go day to day anyways. We're always like back and forth between a million different things. Just
talking random
shit about good shit, things we think and believe. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to go on that journey with everyone else too. Kind of let them into our sort of views and perspective on life.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thanks,
guys.
Peace out.